Well, a good afternoon, YouTube. And what an afternoon it is. Unfortunately, I think this is the wee. It's not the wee, it's the calm before the storm. I'm out on a Saturday. It's pretty chilly, but man, what a blue sky. And I wanted to come out and have a chat with you. Just a quick one today. Going to talk a little bit about the Super Tenere and a few other bits and pieces, and some stuff that happened overnight, which I'm pretty psyched about. So stay tuned, watch the intro, come back, we'll pick this up. Be brilliant. See you in a sec. Welcome back. The weird thing is, when I do that go watch the intro, come back bit, I play the theme tune in my head to the intro as if that's an amount of gap I need to leave. I don't think that's the case. Just a bit of clever editing. Well, I got 12 degrees at the minute. Very, very rubbish roads. Proper greasy and moist, but we're on the eve of a storm. By all accounts, we've got weather warnings all over the place. 80+ mile/hour winds, so I thought it appropriate to get out before all that kicks off. I think that's tonight it comes in. But looking at the weather now, you just would not believe it. So the reason I wanted to get together was to give a... It's not a review. I keep saying this, it's not a review. I've had the Yamaha Super Tenere for about 6 weeks now, 6-7 weeks, but I've done 1,000 miles on it and thought that would be an appropriate time to give you a heads up on how I'm finding the bike so far, how she's performing, any niggles I've got, any plans I've got, you know, all that kind of good stuff. But before I do that, there's a few other things I would like to talk about, and the first one is a big thank you to you lot out there in YouTube land for the feedback and the comments I've got on my last video. If you've watched it all the way through, you'll know that it was quite a sensitive video. Talked about mental health issues, etc. That I've been having issues with. You know, I've been working through. And the support and the comments received were absolutely lovely. So thank you, all of you, so much for that. And I kind of got justification today for that video. A friend of mine came up to me, and I see him quite regularly, and he said, like the video, and, you know, I'm having some issues too. So he watched my video, and he kind of saw ex-army, roughy-tufty biker. I know I'm not a roughy-tufty biker, but there is a persona, a perception associated with people in my former chosen line of work and people who ride motorcycles. So that was the perception to a degree he had of me, and you know, as a result of that, I think it's really going to help him go and speak to someone. So yeah, I can't get any more justification than that. You know, if that video prompted someone to go and get some help and recognise that it's okay, these things happen, you can work through it and there's an end to it, then I'll do them all day long. And if you're watching now, you know you are. I'm here if you need to chat, and there's loads of other people out there as well. You're not alone, buddy. Right. Ooh, Bridge of Doom. I'm a bit nuts. So I'm quite tired. I had a little kit this afternoon. It is currently 20 to 4 in the afternoon. And I had a very late night. Thank you to Scouse Adventures. And if you haven't already, check him out. Oh, look at this big BMW. Let's give the guy a nod. And no nod back. Lovely. So I was up with Mr. Scouse Adventures last night, and he was doing a live stream all about channels, that you may or may not know, and he had a lot of other guys on there. So off the top of my head, ooh, hang on a minute, let's just get round here. I've got the sun glaring in my eyes, can't really see. So off the top of my head, Saddle Tramp, Hoosier Heritage, I know Dad and Mad came on after I'd left. Sorry I missed you, buddy. I'm trying to remember everybody who was on there. My head is like porridge at the moment. Scouse Adventures, obviously there. Oh, Wind and Wrenches. He was on there. And an Australian guy, man, he was just amazing. Skid. I'll put links up to these channels. Go look at my comments below and have a look. And Stevie TV, I missed him. He kind of left us as I got on. But yeah, it was a great chance to showcase my own channel to other like-minded vloggers on a live stream, and to get some heads up on some other guys. The guys I've just mentioned, you know, I'm working through their content at the minute. Absolutely brilliant. Really interesting stuff. Yeah, just had a great night, and thanks to Scouse Adventures for arranging, organising and moderating all of that. It was a proper giggle. A proper giggle. I had an absolute blast. So yeah, I got up at 4 AM. It was very much a US-Canadian time zone affair going on, but I just wanted to be a part of it. He's done it before. I missed it. Motor Rev kindly covered my channel in my absence on the part 2. So thanks for that, buddy. But yeah, it was great to be a part of that. Had an absolute blast. And yeah, if you haven't watched the live stream, it's like 75 hours long. No, that's an exaggeration. It's about 4.5 hours long. But go check it out. They're all on there. Look in the links to this video for the YouTubers who were on it last night. Very diverse, very different, really interesting stuff. Definitely worth a look. Left to right, left to right. Red pill, blue pill. I'm gonna go right. Traffic today. Oh. Anyway, this gets a bit slow going here, so I shall pick you guys up in a moment. So the meat of this vlog was really to talk about the Super 10. As I said at the beginning, I've just clicked over my first 1,000 miles on the bike, and thought I would kind of report back on how we're getting on together. Plot spoiler: amazing. And any sort of niggles or gripes that I've got, and also some of the good points. So as I say, I'm not doing an in-depth review. I'll kind of drip feed this in as we go throughout this channel. We'll pick up on nice tiger. We'll pick up on, you know, any issues and whatnot that I have. And you know, in 1,000 miles I have had a couple of issues. So just to kind of benchmark it as it was, I bought the bike with 6,500 miles, and it's now currently got 7,522, so a little over 1,000 miles done. In that time I've had to make a few adjustments, so really just to make the bike fit. I've had to adjust the rear brake. I think the previous owner may well have been a clown with massive feet, because the pedal was so high that I had to lift my foot off the rear peg, off the peg, in order to hit that rear brake. So I've adjusted that. There is some adjustment on the Super Teneres. There's not a very much adjustment. I've got to make a further adjustment, which I may do tomorrow, and if I'm not being swept off in a tornado to Kansas, I shall endeavour to video that. It's just a little snippet, take 10 seconds, but it's worth documenting in case it's useful to somebody else. So there is some movement. It just needs to drop down a little bit further, so I've got more control at low speeds on the bike. So that was niggle one, but that wasn't really a fault of the bike, it was just the way it was set up. The other little niggle I've got at the minute is the clutch lever. Lever? I've been speaking to Americans all night. No offense to you guys. It's just lever, seizure, leisure. So this will go down a rabbit hole. Moving swiftly back to my original subject. The clutch lever squeaks when I pull it in. Now I had that on the, in fact I regularly get it on the FJR, probably at least once a year. I've got to pull it apart and grease it. Absolutely fine, takes 10 seconds. Again, I'll video that because there's a bit of hardware you need to take off in order to get to the pins. Where the hell am I going? Oh, Yarmouth. Yeah, so that has been the only two, I guess, minor issues. They're not minor issues at all, really. They're just things that I've had with the bike. She's been running absolutely great, not had a problem with starting or anything like that, so it's got a good solid battery in it. It was serviced by the dealership before I picked her up, and you know, it's a 2018 bike with now 7,500 miles on it, so I don't expect any significant issues at all. In terms of living with the bike, so as you know, this provides a great contrast to my Yamaha FJR1300 that I keep on the mainland. And for those new to the channel, here's the FJR. Absolutely love that bike, just so different to this, and it's great. I mean, for those who've got multiple bikes, it's really cool to have kind of two very different bikes like that. Yeah, it makes for interesting transitions between them, and I ride both of them every single day, so that's kind of cool. In terms of living with this bike, it's stayed on the island so far, so we've not done any great long distance hauls yet. That's to come, and I'll talk more about that later. But seating position is absolutely great. Those that ride adventure bikes know that it's quite tall, very sat up, arms far apart. My heels are probably just underneath my buttocks. There I go again. My heels are just underneath my bum. You could probably draw a straight line down between my a part of my sizable bottom down to my heel, and you know, that's kind of the seating position for your knees. So it's really comfortable. I don't feel anything is strained. I feel like I could spend a long time on this bike quite happily. She is very heavy, but because the center of gravity on the bike is so low, you just don't feel it. You don't feel that weight unless you're kind of maneuvering it around. And even then, you know, I'd be terrified to drop it. So that's something I'm going to look to do deliberately. Well, lay it down and pick it up, make sure I can do that. But yeah, you don't feel that weight when you ride it. It's very responsive, does what you need it to do, reacts in the direction you point it. You know, you can't ask for more. In terms of performance, for me, I'm not a nutty rider. I don't go a million miles an hour everywhere. Don't get me wrong, you know, I do like a bit of spirited acceleration and cornering like that. I forgot which lane I was going in then. We're heading down here. She does all that really well, if I'm honest. Our moving bridge. Pretty. So in terms of luggage, living with it for commuting, I have fitted a Shaddy 22 tank bag. If you're interested, I have a video here somewhere that will walk you through fitting it to a Tracer 700. And what you can kind of do with the tank bag and the size and everything. It's very similar to fitting it to this, and yeah, sits alright, looks alright, doesn't get in the way. I kind of like it, it kind of suits the bike. So that'll stay. And then on the back I have a Beaumont. Need to look at the manufacturer. It took me a while to find out who made it, but it's yeah, a top box. I do get some stick for looking a bit like looking like a Deliveroo rider, but that look can be softened with the addition of some hard adventure style panniers, which that company also make. So I'm umming and ahhing about what I want to do for panniers. They're so ridiculously expensive that will not be something I'll do in the short term. I mean, you know, you're looking at anywhere between £800 to £1,000 for anything like SW Motec or genuine Yamaha, Touratech, Givi, etc. So I can probably wait a while before I go down that road. And I'm also not sure whether I want, you know, kind of soft luggage or hard luggage, quite frankly. I quite like the idea of the kind of, the Wolfman bags you can get, or who's the other company? Lone Rider makes some cool bags. You know, they're a bit more rugged. If you drop it, you're not going to trash the pannier up, etc. But a little less secure. I know you can buy security options. Anyway, so that whole piece is a work in progress. I need to think about what I want to put on and what I want to use it for. And the way I will hopefully come to that conclusion is by doing a long trip without panniers and seeing how I get on. Haha. That's coming soon. Shall talk about that in a bit. All in all, I'm getting on with the bike really nicely. I very much enjoy riding it. It does everything I need it to do and then some. I personally think it looks amazing, except right now because she's absolutely bogging. But yeah, you know, it's one of those purchases that I've kind of made and think, yes, I'm really happy with that. So there you go. That's where I am, 1,000 miles in, arguably still well within the honeymoon period. So we'll check back in on that in maybe, I don't know, maybe 5,000 miles. We'll have another chat. Don't know where I'm going. No, that way. Oh, this is not the right way. Sorry, where was I before I totally cocked up that? You'd think I'd know where I'm going, where I am, what I'm doing. Apparently I don't, not a clue. Right, I'm going to go and find somewhere to make a cup of coffee. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Oh man, Military Road on the Isle of Wight, South Coast. You've seen me do this millions of times. It's the first time the Super 10's been down this way. So we will be taking it nice and steady, as I would always, being a conscientious road user. So yeah, well, but seriously, we're going to take it steady because it is windy as hell up here. And yeah, and I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys lots of things. No. I got new coffee paraphernalia, and I've not really had a chance to use it, so we're gonna grab her out for a spill. We're gonna get it out for a spin in a moment as we make ourselves a nice espresso. Whoop whoop. Jeez! That's proper windy then. Oh man, just would you look at it? Would you look at it? We're gonna try in here. Man, would you look at that? Stopped and took a couple of pictures, which was nice. I mean, it's stunning up here. The sun's just going down now. It's creeping up on me a little bit. I do have a clear visor in my top box, so if required I can always pop and put that on. Right, let's see if we can have a stab at getting home first. Careful, because I've got all this crap on my tyres. Oh, but would you just look at it? Never ceases to stun and amaze me. You know, there's a tunnel under this road. You can just see it there on the right. Allows the cows to go from one field to the other. And down there is a campsite. I use it in the summer. It's kind of cool. Just saying. Let's take it steady. Still got all that gunky chalk on the tyres. Getting blown around a bit up here today. It is rather windy. Anyway, that was extremely windy. The wind going through that bit of road was nuts. So we're going to take it easy here. I'm going to say a quick toodaloo and a thank you to the continued support, all the great comments. An extra special thank you there to Mr. Scouse Adventures again for organising the event we did last night. Go check him out, go check his channel out, links in my comments below. And I hope you weather the storm well. Wish you a cracking weekend, what's left of it. And you stay safe. And I'll catch you later. Bye bye! I know I said bye and everything, but as a matter of interest, I have absolutely no idea where I'm going. Just thought I'd say that.